So I'm pretty sure that all of us had experienced school awkward moments. Either if it's the cringy kid like saying something cringe, or if it's either something the most embarrassing thing you have done in school. Unfortunately for me, I always experience cringy stuff, or should I say, awkward moments, because I have autism. I mean, I kind of think it's because of that, because I mean, like, probably most people are not really familiar with like being around autistic people. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with being around with autistic people, just that we tend to think differently, and sometimes I kind of act weird. But the only things I do that are weird just make goofy aw sounds. And obviously, no, I don't do it during class. I just make goofy aw sounds whenever I'm around with my friends, and we just kind of like laugh at it, because I mean, like, we think it's funny. But you don't do it during class because you're literally disrupting the class. But one of the most awkward moments I can think of was basically back in the eighth grade in my English class. And basically in this English class, all right, we were in our seating chart was in like a table group, so he would put us in a table group by the seating chart. And basically how I was seated, unfortunately, I wasn't sitting with my friends. It was an all girls table, just just like 3 females with 1 male. That's me, just sitting at a table. Now because of this, I kind of have some issues. Number one is that we're probably not going to get along very well, because I tend to just I'm mostly comfortable with being around men. But in number 2, I think maybe we can get along well. It's gonna be kind of awkward because we're not familiar with being with each other. We haven't like seen each other before. We haven't like been close with each other. But it's like sometimes like we would casually have like conversations if like the teacher would force us to like do conversations. Like, for example, if the teacher would say, "All right, students, on this for our language problem, da 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 da," and like he would make us like talk with our table groups to figure out like what the problem was, or like what the answer would be, like, and I would be like, "Okay." I'm like, "Okay, so I know this might be awkward with talking to each other, but since I'm the only male in this table, but I think the reason why it's this answer is because da da da." And basically, like, after I answer, like, all the girls, 3 girls, which is not, I mean, 1 girl might say, like, "Oh, yeah, I agree too." However, I can tell that all of us were very uncomfortable because we know that I wasn't basically part of the group. But at least nothing crazy went down. But I mean, unfortunately, this English class had nothing bad going down, like nothing crazy ever happened. On one occasion, though, I guess I can tell you something that happened. But basically, there's this one time, all right, this kid that asked to use the restroom. We're gonna call him Zach. He goes to the restroom, and 1 hour and 10 minutes later, he comes back into the classroom. And however, I wanted to use the restroom, but I was like, where's the Zach kid? He's been gone for at least an hour now. And that's when I see him open the door, and he comes back in the classroom. And as soon as Zach comes back in the classroom, the teacher was furious. I can tell because he literally come in 1 hour after, and he was like, "Are you kidding me, Zachary? You've been in the bathroom for at least 10 minutes in an hour? How long do you have to be? What, is it an emergency or something? Is it really that big of an emergency? Because I don't think so. I've never seen a kid that can go take a dump for at least longer than 10 minutes. Get your butt to the principal's office now and tell him how long you're in there. You deserve detention."